Today is March 28, 2025. I'm a Nigerian transsexual and I'm being harassed. I feel like I'm being set up for some fraudulent type of you know, extortion in form of sex extortion. They said here in Manhattan, where I'm at, they've arrested some straight people that would lure gay people. I'm near the first person. I'm underneath the blanket. I'm homeless, but I'm underneath the blanket because it's cold. I'm a homeless transsexual. My mother was killed by her daughter's Berlin and Flora, feigning mental illness on her because they were trying to extort money from the city of New York, and they were poisoning. My mother said her daughter Bolali was poisoning her food with like car antifreeze poison or like marijuana, synthetic marijuana type stuff to cause my mother to die early because the police took my home, the home my mother was staying in on Staten Island, and Erigana was trying to help us to get that home back. I gave Erigana the court papers to give to police, and the police want to beat Erigana dead. So the doors were trying to get money also to make it look like my mother died from a heart attack from being rendered homeless wrongfully by the police. So my mother said that daughter Bolani was poisoning her food. So my mother ran back from Pennsylvania where that daughter lived. And my mother came back to New York to go to the hospital, Bellevue. And that daughter and her sister, Flora, Bolani and Flora, came to New York. Even though my mother didn't tell her what hospital she was in. And they told the doctor to lock her up in the psych ward just to get my mother angry so she could die quicker. So that got my mother angry, and they said my mother died as they were wrongfully put her in the psych ward. Even though my mother wasn't crazy, but my mother's from Nigeria, so she doesn't speak American English. Her daughter speak American English, and they use that, to kill my mother early. And it's been 10 years now since my mother died in May 2015. So right now I'm being attacked. I'm being harassed by like extortionists that try to force me into a marriage or force me into a sex relationship because I'm trying to sue the city of New York for killing my mother. I'm also trying to sue the U.S. immigration because when my mother brought me in 2000, the immigration arrested me even though I had a green card stamp in my passport. So I'm afraid some people are trying to like be in a sexual relationship with me and possibly kill me and claim the money for themselves and claim I told them to go and have a child for me because I'm a transsexual, so I can't really have a child with a man. So I believe some straight people may be luring me. Say it's happening here in Manhattan that some straight people will lure gays to come and have sex with them, give them drugs to smoke, and the drug will be laced with fentanyl and will kill this gay. So I'm expressing all kinds of weird stuff on Instagram. I follow people because I may think their their message is inspirational, you know, and I'll start experiencing all kinds of you know, funny, funny stuff. I'm trying to scroll here, and I can't find some of the messages. There's a particular Nigerian church, and the guy was talking about if you're serving God, you have to get married. You have to get married. You have to get married. Okay, I'm like, okay, why is this guy? Yeah, I think, yeah, this church right here. I think her husband, you know, you know, you know, it's like the wife and the husband's name is Paul. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Even though I'm Nigerian from a different part of Nigeria, you know, you know. So and he just posted a video today saying if you're serving God, you have to get married. It's important for you to get married. So I'm like, okay, why they post all these videos for me to see? Like, what's this rush to get married? I've never seen where God says you have to get married or whatever. So what is going on with all this? Okay, yeah, this is the pastors. This is a Nigerian church, and he just posted a video saying if people, if you're serving God, you have to get married. You know, this is the
The link to Isaac, her husband. It was in the course of serving their father that the daughters of Jethro, that they met Moses, who became the husband of one of them. But this is more exciting to me. Rachel was carrying the flock of
so
her
basically
father,
I've tried
and
to
Jacob met her, fell
summarize
in
it.
love
Said
with
it's
her.
not possible to be in God's service and not be rewarded with one of his son or daughter to help you serve better. So I think it's talking about marriage and stuff. So this is weird. I hope I'm not being being harassed by an international ring trying to force me to get married. And they say a lot of these marriages, forced marriages, will end up in the victim being poisoned and the partner inheriting all the money. And also there's Black American rap stars that come at me, come and meet me in public places because I panhandle, I beg for money for a living, and they'll just give me this horrible look, and they want to make rap songs. And I believe, they may be talking about me in their rap song. One of them is this Jim Jones, you know, and and it was rapping in his latest song. Say we flip them because they can't handle us. We're too big, so we flip them. So I've been noticing girls trying to lure me into sex with them, you know, and so if girls trying to brush up on me, I don't know if these girls are trying to marry me or claim, and get me killed and go get the money for themselves. So this is weird. My mother said she sent a car to Nigeria in the 1980s and the Nigerian government stole it from her. So the Nigeria is very corrupt and America can be very corrupt also. So they said currently in America, destroy people like killing gays. The Manhattan prosecutor, Alvin Bragg, just prosecuted a case, in which some gays were killed while some straight guys lured them to come and have sex, and they poisoned these gays with drugs, and when these gays smoke it, they die. Some of them died of a fentanyl heart attack or whatever. They said fentanyl kills people. So I've been noticing, you know, people coming around me to be smoking crack, and sometimes they'll be holding a needle. A guy was holding a needle on the train because I sit on the train all night long, you know. And a Spanish guy came, was holding a needle, and I was just looking. I said, "Stop staring at me." I'm not, I'm like, "Excuse me, you're holding a needle. I don't know if that needle is laced with fentanyl." And he was injecting himself, you know. So this Black American also came on the train yesterday. He did his hand like a punch, then started smoking crack. People were coughing and coughing. I told him to stop it, but they always come around me. So here's this Black American guy smoking crack yesterday on the 2 train that I was on. You know, I'm gonna try and get more of the videos. You know, I posted on on my YouTube on my I posted the video on my Google Drive. Of his face. So some of them will bring needles, and I don't know if they want me to fall asleep and stab me with the needle and kill me. And this Governor Oko, Mayor Eric Adams of New York City are saying the homeless people are crazy and a lot of them have a mental illness. So it's like they're creating an atmosphere that somebody like me can be killed and stabbed with a needle, injected with fentanyl, and people would dismiss it like I'm just another crazy homeless. I'm not into drugs, and I don't know why this Governor Oko and Mayor Adams are creating a condition whereby I can be killed and these people will get away with it. So I think they're just jealous. I'm a foreigner trying to sue New York City, trying to sue America for arresting me and putting me in immigration prison in 2000. And they would rather have me killed and an American person to claim, I'm their lover and I authorize them to go have a baby and the baby would inherit everything. So this is very hostile. This is like genocide going on. When my mother was alive, she approached the U.S. Department of Justice that the police came and took her home. They refused to help her under Obama. Then my mother's daughter was killed out like 5 years later, 2015, and they were trying to take the money for themselves. So there's this thing in America now whereby xenophobia, even children born here in America, will try to kill their parents and get the money for themselves because they believe they're better than their parents because their parents is born in Nigeria, like my mother, you know. So so the guy that was smoking crack, you know, I'm trying to, so that's the rapper that I saw him coming around me, and it was recording the song. His name is Jim Jones, and it was saying, now we're flipping them because they can't handle us because we're too large for them. So I've been noticing girls coming around me. Even when I was applying for food stamp, a Spanish girl came and was disrupting the office where I was applying for food stamp. And then they told me, then the food stamp office in Brooklyn told me their computer wasn't working that day. I should go outside to use the phone. use the Wi-Fi. And as soon as I went to use the Wi-Fi outside, some kids surrounded me and were about to hit me. They said now in that area, some gangs are beating up people in front of the Target store, Atlantic Avenue and Flatbush Avenue area. So they hire gangs to be beating me up anytime I go to that area. And in front of the Target store also, they said some gang just killed a Spanish guy called Michael Hernandez. So I'm not saying this rapper is involved, but he's writing songs, that looks like it's talking about me. And here it says stay outside. So I've been noticing, I've been trying to get Section 8, but because Houston or Dallas has a program that you can get Section 8 from being outside. You don't have to go to a shelter, because me and my mother was in a shelter in New York and we were treated horribly, so we had to flee. So Houston or Dallas and Texas started a program whereby you can apply for Section 8 while outside, and from the street to your own apartment. So I was talking about it on the train, telling people to contact the city council. So the city council decided to start that program in New York, so you can get a Section 8 called City Fabs right from being on the street. This Mayor Eric Adam canceled it. Said no, you can't get a Section 8 unless you go to the shelter. So I'm afraid of being in the shelter because they always abuse me there, and I've been trying to get a lawyer to help me. The legal aid lawyer contacted him, and he promised he was going to help me, and so he told me to email me, and he never got back to me, the legal aid lawyer. I'll try to see if I could show you the name of that legal aid lawyer, but my AOL account can be searched in the future, to get the name of that legal aid lawyer. And they're keeping me outside. It's like they want me killed outside and go claim, I have a lover, I'm married, and I told that person to go have a child for me because I'm a transsexual, I can't have a child by myself, and that child will inherit everything. So this is like a genocide, and they're trying to teach us a lesson that we foreigners can't come here and get any benefits. Even if we are hurt by the American government, we have to suffer and not get anything. So, so this guy, and he's carrying a bag, and he's talking to a girl. My mother's daughter killed. This girl almost looks like my mother's daughter, Polanyi. And this girl, that Polanyi was born here in New York, and this girl sounds like she's born in New York. And he was telling her, he's telling the girl in the Instagram video, say, you don't know how to do it. Let me teach you how to cook. And the girl was like, I know how to do it. But says, sis, you don't know how to do it. So it's almost like Nando referring to me, that I'm a foreigner, they'll rather have my mother's daughter. I think they're hoping, the people trying to kill me are hoping to kill me and have my mother's daughter testify in court that when I was alive, I wanted to have a child, and she believes, I must have instructed people to go have a child for me. So because my mother's daughter is compromised, I have evidence that she killed my mother on purpose, because I'm under FBI surveillance since I came out of immigration prison in 2000. And the immigration refused to, the FBI, normally puts you on surveillance and listen to everything you talk about. Even when I was talking with Eric Garner, the FBI was listening because I was recording Eric Garner. And I gave him the court papers to give to the NYPD, because the NYPD took my home on Staten Island. And days later, the NYPD went and beat Eric Garner to death. The same place where I gave them the court papers. So this FBI is out of control. They are giving my whereabouts to people like these Black American musicians, like this Jim Jones. I've seen him come across me here in Manhattan, and he just gave me a whole awful look. I was just asking for change, and he didn't give me nothing. But I think it's writing songs about me, so I walk around with my belongings and stuff, And this Eric Adams, make sure I can't get the Section 8 housing vouchers. I'm on the street, So it's like they're all sending messages to each other, xenophobic, that we're going to keep this African outside till we kill them, And this James Jones in his Instagram page just posted something, said stay outside, and he was rapping with a Spanish guy, and the Spanish guy was doing his hand like a gun, And the Spanish guy accosted me yesterday on the R train, 86th Street and 4th Avenue. Say, we're going to take your money, nigga. And it would look like they were going to punch me. So they're having Spanish people calling me nigga. So the FBI surveillance will pick it up. Yesterday was March 27, 2025. Around, between, I can't remember the time, but let's just say in the afternoon. In the afternoon, between roughly 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. And the Spanish guy went outside. He had I think it was wearing a durag black, was in company with other guys, and they went to the back exit on 86th and 4th Avenue. Where there's no token booth clerk. So the camera will pick him up. They say, we're going to take your money, nigga. And they'll be calling me nigga, and sometimes the Spanish guys will punch me. You know? So this is what they're doing. They're abusing me, and some Nigerian gangs are joining in also, and they hope to share the money. So I think some of the Nigerian gangs be like, if you kill this person, as long as you send money to Nigeria, we wouldn't fight for justice for this person. Sometimes they get the police to try to kill me. When I go to the Target store, the black Americans there on Atlantic Avenue and Flatbush, they were like, you can't use the women's bathroom, you're a man. I'm like, I'm a transsexual. And they were trying to beat me up and choke me. Some people have been threatening me that I'm going to be killed like Jordan Neely. Jordan Neely was a black American homeless that was choked dead because he was angry because he said his mother was killed in Warsaw, and the white guy snuck behind him and choked him dead because it was disrupting the play. So this is this Jim Jones. He has a Spanish rapper doing something like a gun. A Spanish guy accosted me yesterday. So the FBI is giving them my surveillance. I'm not saying this is the exact Spanish guy, but the Spanish guy that told me we're going to take your money, nigga. It looks like this guy, but it's not him. Because I believe this guy's a foreigner, but that Spanish guy sounds American. So the FBI is listening in, and they're not helping me. I know the FBI has, they have all this power to follow you around if you're a foreigner because I criticize the U.S. government a lot, but they need to arrest these people, threatening my life. So he has just recorded a song with Jim Jones, this Spanish guy called, I don't know how to pronounce his name either, Parida, and he's doing something like a gun, and recently some people came on the train, a Spanish guy with a needle, and was dangling the needle around me on the 2 train. Then a black American guy has been, so here's him with another rapper, black American rapper, and some of these rappers, sometimes I believe they may be talking about me in their song, but so I believe that, so they're doing like a gun and stuff, and here's somebody with the NY logo on their hat, so this is just too much innuendo to ignore this. So I'm being threatened on the train, which is terrorism on the train. People are bringing needles near me. They're bringing lighter near me. They're smoking crack near me. And, so this is this Jim Jones doing something like a gun, a Spanish guy, and they will rub their penis on me, they rub their genitalia on me. So I believe the video, like a Spanish guy accosted me yesterday, March 27, 2025. So we're going to take your money, nigga. I believe that, the guy has a rope dangling in front of his penis. So I believe that they may be referring to me in their song that we're going to claim, you authorize us to make a baby, because you're transsexual, you can't have a baby with a guy. And, we're going to kill you. And, this is why they keep rubbing their genitalia on my belonging, and they'll have the women rub their genitalia on me. And, and they keep trying to set me up for provocation. Today, the MTA workers have started joining in. If I try to use the bathroom at the train station, they would delay me, go and block the door. Early this morning at